Hello there, this is a highly requested video and welcome back to this video. So this is a video which I think a lot of people requested for, which is a comprehensive guide for Battle Drill. And Battle Drill as a topic is not something that I think is really popular. That's number one. Number two is something where usually I will be able to clear the final boss and I'm done. Like I don't really mind too much about the rankings or even the damage pushing side. So that's why I'm not that particular about this game mode, right? But since there's a request for it, there's a demand for it, here we are, Zeee Ultimate Battle Drill Guide for the Secluded Island season. So for this one, I'll employ the visual representation done by our dear Avatar over here, right? So this map is shared to me by Avatar. Very comprehensive map coverage of the Secluded season map. Let me just increase the size of the map so you guys can see the markings and the different stuff better. So this is basically the 1:1 scale down version of the full map with all the different buffs as well as the different points. Very nicely graphed out. So I'll be using this to explain how to tackle this map. So Avatar is currently with Analytica, but Avatar's main server is server 334. Okay, so credits to Avatar. This is for those of you guys who say, this guy steal my idea, never credit. Okay, so this is from Avatar. Okay, so first of all, let me run through all the key points or the bases. We'll start off at base 01, base 02, and base 03. So we start off at the Storm Heat, Tidal Keep, as well as the Sun Scorch base. So based on the buffs itself is pretty much the same. So no matter which base you start at, you don't get a particular advantage. So in terms of the efficiency part is the movement of the map as well as how efficient you distribute your manpower in terms of pushing the different points. Okay, so the difficulty of the different stages is represented by the different colors. So green represents the easy battles, purple represents 5 easy and 5 regular, and then yellow represents regular battles, and red represents the hard battle. So if you're a guild with, I'll say, unequal power levels, like for example you have some members that are a lot stronger than others, then using the stronger members team to push through the harder dungeons will be highly recommended because it's more cost efficient and they have a higher chance of clearing it instead of failing and trying multiple times. And in terms of why you have to think about these aspects is because of the movements of the map. So one thing that you guys need to know is that you need to connect point 1, 2, and 3 together, right? To actually get the full level advantage to your whole guild. So the very first movement will be connecting point 2 to 3 from the left side to the right side. So what you want to do for point 3 is to attack towards the left to point 4, and then for point 2 is attack towards the right to get to point 4. So this way you will get the link between 2 and 3 ASAP, and then that's where you're able to push downwards to connect to point 1 through point 7. So if you take a look at all the different big points with the plus 15, plus 10, plus 30, these are the bonus levels that you'll get once you clear the points. Okay, these are elite stages. So point 7 and point 8, they are the elite strongholds. So these are stages where you have 5 tougher enemies, mini boss of some sort that you have to fight through. This is where AoE units are a lot stronger. Okay, same thing for the usual dungeon stages, right? The easy, regular, and hard dungeons. The AoE characters, they are generally stronger. So I will cover what are some of the recommended characters that I use myself later on, but I'm just going to talk about the general movement of this map first. So what you want to do, point 2, right, as well as point 3, connect towards point 4, connect to each other, get the level bonus, and then push downwards to point 7 to connect with point 1 eventually. So depending on whether or not you want to connect to point 2 first or point 3 first, you can distribute your manpower according to your guild power difference. Okay, obviously I think distributing them equally and then connecting the two of them at the same time should be the optimal way to go, but I think it doesn't really make too much of a difference in the grand scheme of things unless you are min-maxing for the final Battle Drill ranking itself, right? You might want to min-max based on your guild's power, based on who has which unit, who is the stronger player, where to place a stronger player. So those are the more hardcore stuff, but I'll just mention the general stuff. So 2 to 2 and 3, move to 4, connect, and then later on, once you get the level bonus on these two camp, move downwards, and then you start moving up towards 0.5 and 0.6. So if you take a look at 0.5 and 0.6, 0.4 over here grants the spell mastery bonus, which increases allies non-normal attack speed by 40, non-normal attack damage by 150%, and grant 40 crit to these non-normal attacks. So this means that units that relies on their skills are gonna be much better with this spell mastery buff. So let's say if you're adopting the 0.2 to 0.3 connection, the first 10 unit you want to feature are units which are more spell reliant. And then later on, as you fill up the later parts of the unit slot, as you get more levels, you fill up the units that are good for the bosses, and then that are more normal attack centric. Because that way, your first group of unit from the Cam 2 and Cam 3 will be able to benefit from the spell mastery buff to maximize your guild efficiency. And then, right, once you have 0.1 connected to 0.2 to connected to 0.3, you move upwards to 0.5 and 0.6. So 0.5, you get more moment of glory. Whenever an ally character casts an ultimate, you increase the attack and crit by 20 for all allies character for 3 seconds. And energy flow at 0.6 provides 50 haste as well as 40 energy per second. Pardon me for my coughing. So based on these two buffs itself, 0.5 has a higher value compared to 0.6 in terms of offering a much more holistic buff to all the allies in the guild compared to the energy flow. So energy flow is good, but I think 0.5 is a lot better. So you go from connecting all the outer layer to 0.5, and then taking on 0.6, and then eventually tackling 0.8 for the bonus 30 levels in the middle. Okay, so that's the general movement of the map. So as you move towards the middle itself, you can also consider whether or not you want to actually tackle Celezo or Morale for the additional plus 15 bonus. So I'll say this part depends on how strong your guild is, depends on how many units your members have, as well as whether or not they have the more battle drill centric characters. Okay, so general movement, let me repeat: 0.2 connect to 0.3 from the middle, so you get the 0.4 buff, spell mastery, and then later on, once the 2 points on top connect, players in Cam 1 will start to push up right towards 0.7, the 2.7s, and then 2 and 3 will start pushing down to connect with the Cam 1, and then once you form the connection, the whole guild will get the level bonus as well as the ability bonus, and then that's where you push to 0.5, and then 0.6, and then 0.8 to the final battle, right? And you unlock every power up, that's where you challenge the final boss. So that's for the movement, general movement, and why you move in such a manner. Next, let's talk about the units you want to use and what role you should be playing in your guild. Okay, so depending on your unit collection, I'll say there is a different, way to actually prioritize the unit. So assuming if you have a lot of different units developed, then what you can do is focus on what role you serve in the guild. Are you a dungeon pusher, or are you a bossing player? So if you're a bossing player, putting the units in, right, and letting your guild push through all the dungeons, and then only attacking the important points based on the requirements of your guild, could be the way to go if you are the stronger player, because your guild might want you to actually bring down the tougher stages as fast as possible, and then that's where you're able to get the most capture bonus right here. So this is something that you must actually think based on what your guild need. But as a general rule of thumb, since we are connecting from 0.2 to 0.3 like this to get the spell mastery, I think the first few units that you want to put in this one would be units like Taylin, units like Iron, Lily May, Arden, as well as Carolina, because they are really good AoE units that actually clears out the dungeons really fast. And then right later on, once you actually find like you don't actually use them a lot, that's where you're able to switch them out for the other bossing characters. So these are, I'll say, like the first 5 that comes into mind, because these characters, number 1, they are very good for the normal pushing. They're also really good for the elite stronghold side. Okay, so elite stronghold consists of the 5 units. But let's say if your guild, or if your position in the guild is more leader centric, then the units that you want to put to stock up the energy could be units that are good for bossing purposes, right? So this is where the units which are good for the Dream Realm side, for example, units like Shakir, units like Mikola, units like Odie, Smokey, they're going to be quite impressive. I think the most versatile characters that you can actually feature in the first 10 are units with very good AoE potential while offering good amounts of damage with the different buffs. So magical damage dealers in general, they are the top tier, right? For the AoE side, we have the likes of Elsa. Other than the top few featured, we also have the likes of Elsa right here. We also can use the likes of Reese, right? If you are building the physical side, you also have Parisa, which are also really good for the general pushing side. And Morale, to a certain extent, is also really powerful if you have the hero collection. So if you don't have, then the standard few units on top, they will be the AoE units that you feature. Okay, so if you don't have Tadin, use Odie. And then for the bossing side, Cassidy is a really good bosser. Cassidy is also a really good magical attacker, so fits into the battle drill side really well. Apparently the Lenya physical team consisting of Shakir, Mikola as well as Lenya forms a pretty formidable melee centric team for bossing purposes. So Lenya is a single target unit, not for pushing, but pretty decent for bossing purposes. So that is for those of you guys who want to min-max. For those of you guys who has, I'll say, like a more limited collection and you might not have the strongest accounts or units, then you might also want to feature the likes of Coco, right? Feature the likes of Damien just to give yourself more survival. Even Ludovic is also okay because Ludovic provides quite a bit of heal, and then his heal is also able to do damage. So same thing, the theory of surviving to do more damage will still be really crucial, but if you can survive, then you can drop off the healers. The more impactful healers are Smokey with some AoE damage potential. Units like our dear, I think for the support side, Mikola. Yeah, Smokey and Mikola is pretty much the better ones because they are basically buffers, damage dealers as well as healers at the same time, making them really versatile, be it pushing or for bossing stuff. So you don't have to switch them out and manage your energy like crazy. So obviously you have the ability to swap out the characters anyhow, so it doesn't really matter who you start off with. Like if there is something that you believe, if there's something that you think min-maxing is not enough, then just feature characters that are generally good for pushing first and then swap out the characters eventually. So there is a lot of way to put the units in a command center, right? It also depends on what role do you play in your guild. Are you the strongest guy? Is everyone preparing the bosses as well as the elite stronghold for you? So that's pretty much it for the command center side. Okay, so with regards to this battle drill itself, to be really honest, I have never cleared it in the Pioneer testing server, and neither have I cleared it in the global server side, so we don't know how long we'll take to clear this. But yeah, I hope this guide is helpful for those of you guys seeking out for a battle drill guide to clear through your battle drill runs. And that's it for this video. Let me know down in the comment section what you think about this guide. What's your opinion, other feedbacks for other players, as well as other pointers to add. Thank you very much for tuning in. Do remember to like and subscribe to see more. See you guys again in my next video. Bye guys.